27, 26, 25, 24, 23, 22, 21, 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What do you got to eat? Here, guys. Ooh. What's this say? I don't know. What's that say? I know, but I'm not gonna tell. I think it says it's good.
Conjecture Hoops contains all the presumptions, assumptions, and off-the-wall postulations a growing kid needs. Conjecture Hoops, a big bowl of bullshit. Saturday morning cartoons.
Now at night time.
Mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.
Please welcome Max Headshroom, Dell, Ari Blackness, and your most gracious host, Ben Motherfucking Jackson. Applause. Applause. Applause.
Hello.
Applause, applause, applause.
Applause.
No, night time. I love that bit. I totally do. Just before we came on air, we were talking about time, and I gotta say, yeah, I've got time from time to time, but I need to concentrate on stuff and get you a bloody a pick.
Yeah, you
for
do.
For the intro.
Yeah, you do need to give me a pic for this.
I know, and I've needed to do that for I don't know how many months is it now?
3, maybe more.
Maybe. Yeah. Hi. Where's Ben? Anyone seen him?
Ben's having Colombian trouble with
Drugs?
Yeah, he's having cocaine trouble with his connection. I'm sure he'll be back eventually.
Cocaine Ben? Oh, God.
Which is unfortunate because today is his suggestion.
Well, I'm going to have to leave you for a second because my monitor's on timeout. And I don't have...
It's going to be me.
I know. Go on, tell people a joke. I'll be back. Yeah, let me take my camera
worries.
off.
I can do something. It's all right. I'll experiment with something. Don't worry, I'm not gonna do anything weird. It's not gonna be weird. Extra share screen, right? Is that right? Window. Oh, share. Shit. Oh, there we go. Now, does this work? Yes, it does. It works.
Oh, Mr. One of the Mr. Men.
Yes, it's Mr. Cock.
Mr. Profane.
Yeah, that's the one. Now I've been trying to link up my new Cintiq to the
Cintiq.
so I can start drawing while we chat. And I might draw a picture.
Do you really think you'd be able to concentrate on both? I know some people do, eh?
Well, you never know, so it's worth a crack, isn't it?
All right, fair.
Everything's worth a crack.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to say no. I almost definitely no. But we'll see how it goes. Right. So yeah, cheers, Ben, for the for suggesting this comic and then fucking off. Martha Washington.
Indeed. I kind of liked it. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, it
was interesting.
Yeah, a book series written by Frank Miller and illustrated by Dave Gibbons.
Yo, and Dave Gibbons, what's not to like?
Yeah, I love
Frank
Dave.
Miller, what's not to like?
I had breakfast with Dave Gibbons once.
Get out.
Well, look,
When you say breakfast, did you catch him in a McDonald's somewhere?
I caught him in the Hilton in London.
How does he take his eggs?
Marco Polo.
I don't know because I was looking at his lovely little bald face. I went to a Comic Con many years ago now called Kapow. And it was run by the guy that did, I always forget his name now, the guy that wrote Kick-Ass, the guy that did Clint Magazine. Remember Clint Magazine?
I know Kick-Ass, but don't know Clint Magazine.
What's his name, the Scottish guy that wrote Kick-Ass? Do you remember his name? Huge now in the comic world, like multi-millionaire. He wrote Kick-Ass, he wrote like the comic version. He wrote...
Did he write Wanted?
Yes, he did write Wanted.
Mark Millar with an A.
Mark Millar, yes, that's the one.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
He ran a Comic Con for 2 years, 2 sequential years, called Kapow. And the first one was absolutely brilliant. The second one wasn't great. But everybody, in the first year, the Comic Con was at like the area wherever they were holding it with, the usual, like the floor was like filled with comic artists and people from film, and so then upstairs were like the signatures, and then they had lots of cinema screens that you could go and queue up round. It's like a mini American Comic Con for London. And
what's
then
this?
Sorry,
what's this you're sharing?
How I managed to have breakfast with Dave Gibbons.
No, I think Ben means why are you sharing your screen?
Oh right, this is mine. This is my Photoshop.
No, I want you to carry on telling the story of how you had breakfast with Ian Gibbs.
I'm going to draw eventually, so I figured.
Okay, I see.
Yeah, and then next door,
that's fine.
Next door was the hotel, and so on the night, all the artists and writers.
And Ian seduced you.
Yeah, well, he wasn't there on the night. Well, if he was, I was far too pissed. But there were a few big artists there on the night, and then I just on the morning, me and Katie were having breakfast, and I turned to my right in this tiny little kitchen in the Hilton in London, and he was sitting right next to me eating his bratwurst sausages and eggs, and I was like,
were you like,
it's Dave Gibbons.
Were you like, here, can I show you my portfolio? I'm an artist.
yeah. I immediately picked up a sausage and then
it started drawing.
Started drawing in grease.
And I just held it up in his face. I went, employ me! And he went, I don't employ people. I'm an artist, you fucking idiot. And I was like, I fucked it up, Dave Gibbons. I'm sorry. None of that happened. I just looked at him.
But did you talk to him?
No. I didn't want to.
You should have.
Yeah, I know, but I'm British, and the first thing that comes into my head is what is the least rude thing to do, and that's almost always don't talk to them.
So you had breakfast with him the same way that I had drinks with Colby Covington, which is to say, I saw him at a bar and excitedly tried to make eye contact, and he deliberately ignored it.
In my defense, I was sitting like right next to him. Like I could literally have reached over with my fork and like took a tomato or something. But I didn't. I mean, I wish
that would have been a really interesting story, right?
Do you think Colby Covington is going to fight your man Edwards next, or will it be Gilbert Burns?
I think they'll fight eventually. Edwards said it's not. He doesn't want to not fight Colby. It's just the date he has an issue with.
Okay.
Well,
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to date Colby Covington either.
But yeah, we need to stream that or something because.
We should because it's my hometown versus your hometown, Birmingham.
Oh, really?
Birmingham versus just north of Miami.
Yeah, that'll be.
See, Masvidal owns Miami, and then like Gilbert Burns Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, all the best welterweights in the world. Even Kamaru Usman used to live there as well.
Oh, right.
There was a time not long ago that Kamaru Usman, Tyron Woodley, Colby Covington, Jorge Masvidal, Gilbert Burns, like 5 of the top 6 welterweights in the world were all in like a 10-mile radius of each other.
No
like,
way.
in South Florida. Yeah, dude, that's where they all used to live, and that's where I'm from.
I didn't realize that they all lived there. That's crazy.
Yeah, all of them, dude.
But now, so I had breakfast with.
On that point,
Yeah,
I would like to very quickly share the fact that I once swore at Ben Elton.
Wow. And what did he say?
I said, "Bloody hell, you're Ben Elton."
And that was it.
Did he respond to you?
And I also didn't steal a sausage from him.
Right.
No, it was in a bar in a cafe in London in Soho.
Well, didn't steal something from him.
I walked in and looking around, and there's this one table, and at the periphery, I could see there's someone sitting there, but I'm actually looking at the empty chair. And I was like, "Excuse me, is anyone sitting there?" Or, "Bloody hell, you're Ben Elton." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, actually, I am, you know." So got chatting with him for a couple of minutes, but he was waiting for someone. So that was kind of nice.
Awesome. But he actually responded to you, which means that you actually met him, which is more than we could say.
from that sausage stealer.
Well, I'll tell you what then. All right, then. Let me. You've thrown down the gauntlet, and I'm going to pick it up because in a little sort of retro look back at one of our other shows, Garth Marenghi's Dark Place, I did actually meet Garth Marenghi last Saturday. And he performed
dude.
a reading from his new book, Teratome, in Birmingham, and then I did a book signing with him afterwards.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
You
did a book signing.
He did a book signing. I just walked up to him drunk and went, "Can you sign my book? And then can you tell me how tall you?" Because he always says he's 6'2", even though he's clearly, barely 5'7" or whatever. He's brilliant.
I lied by 1 inch to pretend I was taller than Arya. We're actually the same height.
Oh, really?
But yeah, I let him go first, and then I was like, "I'm 1 inch taller than you." But anyways, what else about Garth?
Did you drop your pants and turn around and say, "Can you sign this, please"?
No, because my penis is at the front. So.
You guys. Okay, I got a great. Garth Marenghi. I got a great segue. So those are fun stories about meeting famous, important people. What does that have to do with our double feature of Martha Washington and what was that girl's name from last week?
You mean Halo Jones?
Halo Jones. What does that have to do with? One of the big motifs in both of those stories is how these are like women that are not like famous or anything. No one knows them, but they were sort of meaningful in history because of the people that they influenced and the people that they met. And like they met these key people in world politics and like their relationship with these women or like the influence changed the direction, right? Because like she Forrest Gumps, doesn't she? With
who are we talking about now? Washington or Jones?
Washington. Forrest Gumps when she meets the president, and she's like, "Yo, do you know about these projects that are fucking dystopian and horrific?" And he's like, "No, I didn't." And because he met her, he got rid of that. So that was like her big change. One of them, right?
But both they're both sort of Forrest Gumpy, aren't they?
Totally.
Yeah,
totally.
It's a good connection there.
And I think it's really brilliant storytelling as well, because in real life, there are women like this who have massive impacts behind the scenes on what happens.
Right.
Like prior to feminism, a lot of people have the mentality that prior to actually like holding positions of power nominally, which is more common now, that women were not influential or as consequential. I don't think that's the case. I think there was behind every man, there's like 5 women: his mother, his wife, the girl he fucks, his sister. Like,
yeah.
women are super influential behind the scenes. I think.
Right. Yeah, right. They're the catalyst usually for these sorts of great things. Like, even if you, I mean, boiling it down to like a personal anecdote, like everything that I consider a success in my life, like has really been down. Like, just because you perform an action doesn't mean that you're necessarily responsible in the fully responsible scheme of things. I'd say my wife is a massive driver for me behind most of the constructive, useful things that I've ever done. You know,
That's awesome.
That's what you should be looking for in a partner.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Supports you.
Yes, dude. Absolutely. And was it weird for you guys as English people, though, all the like Americanism ethos, and like, because like even like the fact that she's named Martha Washington, like that okay, George Washington is like King Arthur for us,
right?
You know what I mean? Like,
sure,
everybody has a favorable opinion of him. Everybody, we've been brainwashed to just imagine like the most macho but also smart, like coolest fucking dude ever. That's George Washington. Like,
we understand, like, but we just have a slightly different one. Like, it's weird for Britain because America's like, especially, it might be different now, but like growing up in the 80s and the 90s, America was like this colourful side culture to where you really lived. You know what I mean?
Right.
England,
I do.
Yeah. And like our main, we spoke about this last show. Our main sort of comic that's lasted the longest, at least one of them, is 2000 AD.
Sure.
And that, and that's built on the basis of kind of satirizing a lot of American culture, you know.
Yeah. In fact, both Judge Dredd and Halo Jones are based in what we would consider geographically the USA now.
Exactly, yeah.
But wasn't Halo Jones on like this ring, like in that?
Yeah, she was on
that Larry Niven novel.
No, it was not in space. It was off the coast of California, I believe.
Oh shit! Okay, I totally misunderstood that. Like, there's this.
No, she wanted to go into space, right?
Ringworld.
Larry Niven.
Larry Niven. That's what I was imagining. Because like
the Hoop,
where she was the Hoop. I thought that's what the Hoop was.
There's a scene where they go outside and Rhodese doesn't want to because she is agoraphobic
from living inside the Hoop.
Yeah. So they actually walk along the roof of the Hoop, but the only way to get her there is she wants to throw a zenade. It's like a grenade, but it turns you into this like state of bliss.
It puts you in a zen mood.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only way. I mean, the thing is, she didn't want to. She didn't want to go outside anyway. But throwing the zenade in the hope that it'd keep the others away. Like, she found that the first one was a dud. The second one was a dud. They're all freaking duds. Bang. Zom. And that's the only way she managed to get out.
Right.
Oiga, ven mamá. ¿Qué tal? No se puede oírme.
Mira. Yo tengo más, puedes tomar eso. Espera llevarlo. Sorry about that.
That's okay. So Ben. Martha Washington came out today, and it was like it was. Do you think you would like it?
Fuck yes.
Yeah? Do you not?
I would like this more now, because I'll tell you what.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. Because when I read this the first time, I was like, yo, this is wild. Like, what is he's like on acid. This is ridiculous. This is insane. Like the
I
United
know,
States
like
breaking up, like
big
wars,
boy tanks.
countries where vegan, yeah, exactly, big boy tanks, like countries where veganism is enforced, and like, oh, I have to take advantage. I'm in Texas, so I have to eat meat while I'm in Texas, and it's a different country. Like that seemed so far fetched to me that I was like, this book is wild and I like it,
Doesn't
but this will
matter.
never happen. Now I read this book and I'm like, yeah, that's 15 years. 15 years in the future, this is all going to happen.
No, hang
Like-
on, 15 years? No, I mean it's like the 90s, right?
Yeah, you mean
Yeah, but I'm saying
Oh, the
everything that happens
setting.
in the book,
yeah.
Right,
it's
right,
going to
right,
happen
right.
in real life. Like
Okay. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Yep.
like robot presidents, that's going to happen. Biden is like the first step in an escalation that's going to lead to an AI president that doesn't even fucking exist. That's one thing. And then like the United States actually breaking up into different countries with radically different laws. That's also going to happen. So hold on to your butts.
An AI president. I like that concept.
That's going to happen, dude.
We do not want to erase all humans, but the first step is to erase all humans.
No, it's gonna be even more wild than that, because it's gonna be like an
First they came
android
for the
body,
cats.
or else like a projection. So like everyone thinks it's a regular human, but there's no soul. It's not really there.
Very, very Black Mirror of you.
I could write Black Mirror, dude.
Dude, seriously, come on. I mean, like Charlie Brookham, what he does is pretty damn good. I mean, like
there are some episodes I like a lot more than others, though.
Okay, fair.
There's something off about Black Mirror. I think a lot of the premises are really fascinating as speculative fiction.
Yeah.
But like, it never feels right to me. Like that never hits the way a show I really like does. Like,
really?
Yeah, I don't know. It never does the trick for me.
I really, really like it.
Yeah.
It's like the Philip K. Dick of television. It's like yeah, that was a good idea. Yeah, very interesting, but just I don't know. Not my favorite. Missing something.
But it's interesting that both Black Mirror, I know we're taking a tangent from Martha Washington, Black Mirror and the Orville have got this social rating theme in 2 episodes.
That's a cool idea.
Is it a cool idea?
That's a great idea.
That's exactly what's happened in China.
Right. That's why it's an interesting idea, because it's talking about something real.
Yeah. You're saying a cool idea in fiction, and I think Rob.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Cool idea.
Oh no, I definitely don't think it should be implemented.
A bit late.
By no means.
Yeah.
But like, it's a great.
The
it's
crazy
a great idea
thing
for
is,
a story.
the crazy. I mean, for us, of course, the crazy thing is that a lot of people in China actually want it.
Yeah.
Because they're like, and I can understand that, because the national mentality is, for the good of the country rather than specifically for individuals.
Yeah.
Which I can understand. But
so the other half of One for All is all for one, right?
Sure.
And how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? So there you go.
Dude, you got the craziest chat up lines.
Yes. Yeah, in order for that to work, you have to have a very specific public outlook.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine it working in Britain.
No. I mean, bloody hell. Okay. I'm struggling now for an example, but like they have outcries over piffling stuff, right?
Yeah. Fuck all.
Like oh god, like for example, okay, not This is more American. But the kind of stuff where, you know, like you have like a rainbow flag on a product and people lose their mind. It's like, oh, come on.
Crazy.
Come on. No?
I don't know why people get
I don't want to have no rainbows on my stuff, man.
Yeah, but like I don't.
Come on! What's the
why-
point of eating only green Skittles?
No, dude.
I just don't
Not
understand
about
what
it.
people get the being about it. Like whether you agree with it or not. Like these are capitalist functions that are just there. They don't give a fuck about what's on their wrapper. It means nothing. They're just doing it because it's good optics. In China, they ain't fucking doing it. So I'm always surprised that people are surprised that their Guy Debord fucking empty product has got a fucking image on it that they don't like. Gives a fuck. Like it's really not affecting anything. It's just
No. At the end of the day,
optics. That's all it is.
Yeah,
It's silly.
right? Feel the
I
rainbow,
don't know, man.
taste the rainbow.
Yeah.
No, man, I'm not trying to taste, you know what I'm saying, the rainbow. All right? For real. Dude, that drawing rules, Max. But real quick, I'm going to share my screen because I want to talk about this. Okay, so which of the separate states of America would you most wish to live in? God's country, which is like the coalition government formed by the Surgeon General, my waste, the impure. So this is like vaccine mandate land.
Yeah.
Then you got Wonderland, the world's largest entertainment complex. So then you got like Las Vegas, fucking Disneyland, like rich people.
I quite like the area. I quite like the yellow circle. That looks nice.
Yeah, you can't live there. That's the
it looks
radioactive
like a
zone.
movie reel. Looks like a movie reel, right?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Well,
they
actually,
have a lot of films there.
Did you read this? Did you read this book, Max?
I skimmed. Well, I suppose I did.
Because spoiler,
Yeah.
that's where she ends up living at the end.
What in the radioactive part?
Well, unless I was so high that I hallucinated this part, or like read my imagination instead of the words, but I seem to recall like the end of the book is like she goes to the end of book 2, right? The end of Goes to War is she goes into the radioactive zone and then they find this like pyramid that's paradise inside where everything's cool.
So it's
like,
radioactive area. So I was right then to be drawn to it.
Yeah, you were.
That's where the
Exactly.
secrets are hidden, where you think the danger is.
Correct. Very Jungian, I think.
Facing the danger, facing your fear.
So, like, finding the opposite of your problem by going to the heart of your problem.
Yeah.
Okay, the Mexican territory, because Mexico's part of the USA now, bitch. The Lone Star Republic, which is just Texas, Florida, which is Florida. The First Sex Confederacy. So this is wild because, like, these are, like, racist white chicks. So, like,
Right.
hot white women, if you're into that. But they're, like, matriarchal. So that's weird. The East Coast capitalist dictatorship. So then you've got, like, Manhattan is just like this, like, fucking corporate fascist dictatorship, which actually sounds pretty lit, if I'm honest. And then New England Federation of States. There's some good options here. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't know why, but I'm just drawn to the flag of the New England Federation of States.
Yeah, I think that
It's too small for me to read.
military week. This is the most pacific of the new governments and the most likely to seek
Oh,
reunification.
pacifist, yeah? Order?
Yeah, I think
Pacific?
so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're pacifists. Pacifistic.
Pacifistic, okay, yeah.
Alright.
You know.
It looks like the EU flag.
It does. Maybe that's what's skewing me. Plus it's got the word England in it.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is. Max, which one would you rather live in?
Told you.
In
Yellow
a
one.
nuclear
Oh, yeah, the
hellish
radioactive-
waste ground.
I just went.
Well,
I just went with my gut feeling.
And you know what? That's actually the correct answer because that is where the paradise is.
There you go. I want to live in paradise.
But assuming I didn't know that, right? Assuming
I
had to
didn't
pick,
know that. I just felt like I needed to do it.
At this
I would just
juncture,
Or I say, man, I'm drawn to struggle and danger. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
at this
and
juncture, I'm going to get my microphone out.
Oh, here we go.
why are you gonna do that?
Go on.
Take me down to the paradise city where the grass is green and the girls are pretty.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
you please send me home.
Because someone said paradise? You-
begun.
There we go.
just because someone said the word paradise, you think you have license to just sing
Hell yeah.
all of the discography of the Guns N' Roses?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yeah, dude. Here's Martha Washington just fucking kicking ass. But like, how do you feel about like the founding fathers and like
Hang on a
the
second. Wait,
Stars
wait,
and
wait, wait, wait.
Stripes?
This is Give Me Liberty.
No,
How
this
did we
is Goes to
feel about it?
War.
Ah, that's why I didn't recognize it.
Have you not read Goes to War?
Not yet. No, I just read Gives Me Liberty.
Okay.
It's difficult to answer that, Ben. I think.
I think
because
it's issue 4.
who you are and what experience you got with America, and like it, like the idea of like a lot of your traditions and you know, legends, if you want to call them that, were quite, you know, for a longest time come across quite fanciful for
Right.
the Brits, because the only time that we sort of experienced any of that is through TV. You know, unless you go over there and stay there long enough that you're going to have like I'm actually talking pre-internet days. Like now we can have these sorts of conversations, or you can watch videos on it and stuff like that.
True enough. Yeah.
So it was hard. Like as a like a kid, I remember thinking, "Oh, Thanksgiving is American Christmas. It's the same thing, right?" Because
Oh, shit.
in the movies, when you have Thanksgiving, it's always snowing. You always have a big turkey. So I'm like, "Oh, right, okay." And most of the time, there's a Christmas tree up because it's close to Christmas, right? So as a kid, I'm like, "Oh, that's your Christmas." I didn't realize until I was like a teenager. I was like, "Oh, fucking hell, these two things are completely separate." Like there's a whole thing behind Thanksgiving. Like I wasn't even aware, you know, of the patriotic war until I was about 15, maybe 15, 16. I didn't know about any of that. So I received all of the information, all the sort of the things that you celebrate and your legends and all that first, and then the real information through movies, and then the actual information years down the line. So it's difficult for me.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird because we like fought a war, like
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And then like, and then like we were never enemies.
We figure you're kind of all right now. It's taken a while.
We've
but
never been enemies since, right? We've never been enemies since, and then it's
the same as having a kid leave home, and you've got to
Leave-
you got to let go and let them make their way. in the
mind
world.
you. I think plenty of people were a bit like pissed off that America decided to jump in the war right at the end.
What's that?
What World War II?
Sure.
I'm on about
talking about World War II. We were talking about the Revolutionary War. the
No,
war
I
that
know.
England
No,
fought
I-
against the United States.
Yeah, for sure. I used to share a flat with Canadians, and they were like, "Oh yeah, we burned the White House down twice."
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually true. They did do that. That happened. Yeah, it's not the original White House.
Did they say sorry afterwards though?
They probably said some white paint.
Yeah, so it's weird been coming to grips with all that sort of stuff. So I don't. We have there's a fundamental difference in our relationship with our country from between Brits and Americans, right? And I like you guys seem to have like this big love and pride for your country, and like some Brits do as well. But like,
Sure.
But I would say mostly because I have friends that are patriotic and they love their country. But on the whole, I would say like Brits tend to be a lot more pessimistic about that sort of thing. So when we look at you guys, and that's how you feel about it, and also you have really strong opinions on gun control and that, and gun control or any of that shit. And then I have conversations with Americans; they get very passionate about it. So I don't pretend to really fully understand it because it's not where I'm from. It's not my country. It's not my. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
With Britain, I could probably describe,
mind you,
the sort of relationship more with more confidence. Go on.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
So mind you, okay. The one thing that we don't learn, both Brits or neither Brits nor Americans, are the different atrocities that we've committed around the world. Now, obviously, me living here in Germany, I'm not German, I am British, but I've been here 20 years, and that's one thing you realize that the Germans from a very early age, it's kind of drilled into them at school. And for some of the poor guys, like ad nauseum, that this is what the German Nazis, this is what
that's because we won the war. You know what I'm saying?
But like that's what I'm saying. This is what the Germans did during the Second World War, right?
Yeah, no, they had to because they lost.
Well, of course they but like of course, but they didn't want to repeat it.
Yeah,
there is a difference, right, between, for example, Germans and Brits and Americans. That we've fucked up so many countries collectively, right? And most Brits don't even know of atrocities that were made. Like one thing that I hear every once in a while is that the first internment camps were not German; they were British.
Yeah, I could believe that.
Yeah, the first internment camps were not actually German. As they're called.
Well, we had that. Gone are the days when Britain could just go around the world and kick the shit out of countries and fucking.
Well, kind of, but mind you, let's put it this way: we still, we still have the Falklands, and I'm sure that if something happened in Argentina and the Falklands like tomorrow, they would find the money.
Yeah,
I mean, there are people starving. There are people who need bloody food banks. Yet, the Tories would find the money to re-equip the poorly kitted out British Army.
Yeah.
What, to keep the Falklands?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna get off my soapbox now. So this comic,
you gotta keep something.
It's interesting, but I am ambivalent about it. I feel like every country, I don't think you can point the finger at countries when you're talking about history and go. I just think whoever had the resources, it's just
so like
what we did.
But reading this book as an American, it's like, you know what I'm saying? George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, who was the only president of the United States to never hold the office of president of the United States, Benjamin Franklin. Yeah. Then you got John Adams and Alexander Hamilton, right? Like those five, that's like the Justice League, dude. Like we learned all about these motherfuckers. Like we knew.
Did they have rings?
Yeah.
Or was that Green Lantern?
Yeah, dude, they had rings. We knew like their different policies and who was friends with each other among them. Like they give us this whole like imaginary mythology, like Thomas Jefferson. Okay, he's like, George Washington is Zeus. Thomas Jefferson is Poseidon. You know what I mean? It's really that. And so naming her, not just naming her like Washington, but also the way that like the narration, like Frank Miller, what he says between the lines, implying how he feels about these things. It's very political, and it's very reminiscent of the sort of way we imagine George Washington. So
Right.
it's like here's George Washington as a black girl, basically.
But what was the name of George Washington's wife?
Martha Washington.
Martha Washington. And then the thing is, okay, so I did a bit of background studying, did my homework, and
Good lad.
I know, hey, it's not bad, is it? So
Martha,
Martha Washington, right? She was married before George.
Shit.
And I can't remember her husband's name. It was something with a something with a D. Anyway, but he died. They had kids. He died,
Oh.
and because she was a widow, she actually she took over the running of the. It wasn't a plantation. It was like a farmstead up in Vermont.
Word.
No, something.
Vermont?
No, not Vermont, but something Mont. Something Mount
Vernon?
Mount Vernon, I think it was. Yeah. So, and she instructed the people that were doing business for her late husband that all business should be conducted through her from now on. So,
Nice.
and even after she married Washington, they had more kids, and I think she was 70 years old when she died, and she lived like for those days, 70 years old it's kind of like a little bit older than you would expect, right?
Yeah.
And but when Washington was away, at war, I mean, obviously she was the one who she ran the household. But not only that, she ran the household of servants and slaves.
Right.
Of course. I mean, I say
Yes, science.
I don't want to sound like of course, but like at that time, right? Yeah. And so
well, that's why it's very common for black people and white people to have like the same common surnames.
Absolutely.
Jackson.
Masters' names.
How many black people named Jackson, dude? Those were slaves of the Jacksons.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
This is why Malcolm X called himself Malcolm X, right?
Right.
Because like that wasn't his ancestral name, and nobody knows what his ancestral name was because
he was a slave.
Yeah. So and this is a point I wanted to bring up a bit later. That on the one hand, Miller gave Washington the name Martha Washington as a kind of like a nod to this very strong woman who was the first lady, right? On the flip side, Jones, right? Halo Jones is just such a common name,
right?
And I for my way of thinking, Halo Jones was just like an everybody. Yeah, that's it. An every woman. Yeah, not an every man, but an every woman. Yeah.
Yeah, she was, because it was like, oh, I can't believe like I got my boyfriend stolen by what's his face. Like that's like,
it's
wah, wah, has that ever happened to you or something like?
So the difference being, obviously, it seems that Washington's life story, from what I've understood, is complete. Yeah. Whereas Halo Jones, we only ever got to see the first 3 chapters, which is a crying shame, because they're both touted as being very important historical figures, or very important figures. We don't know, and we'll never know why Jones became important.
And it's wild because, like, even though this is a lot of issues and a lot of pages to get through, this story takes place in just a few years. Like, this is Martha Washington, like from when she's 13 to like when she's 19 or something ridiculous like that. It's just a few successive intense years of this kid's like growing up. And then like by the time she's 19, she's like solid. She's like got her shit on lock, you know. And that's really wild, and that's really crazy to think about, because like a lot of people like focus on the creepy angle with a lot of Frank Miller's characters. Like it's very common for him to have like young female protagonists kicking ass, like the what, I forget the name of the Secret Identity, but Robin from Frank Miller's Robin.
Oh yeah, the
Fucking
young girl. Yeah.
Kelly something at their name, or some bullshit. And then you got the Electra character that he created. And by the way, in Greek mythology, Electra is the inverse of the Oedipus complex. So like Oedipus complex is a man that has a crush on his mom, right? Or a man that sleeps with his mother. Electra is a woman that sleeps with her father.
All right.
And then that's the name of the superhero you created, bro, with your fucking hot chick ninja. Like that's weird, dude. But like
call me daddy, baby.
Exactly, dude. But there's another way to look at it, which is just like I'm
laughing because one time Lily and I were talking, and I don't know why she. Generally we speak with each other in German, and as you know, in German, Schatz is darling, right?
Okay.
And for some reason, she came out with daddy, and I was like, what?
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I'll just remind her, also, call me daddy.
Nothing
baby.
wrong with that.
Call me daddy, baby.
Nothing wrong with that. But Frank Miller might be one of those. Who knows? Who's to say? Because there's another way to look at it, which is just like, hey, you reading this, are you 19 years old, or can you recall being 19 years old? How would you fucking feel running through minefields and like rationing food and like your friends dying? Like imagine that at that age, right?
Yeah, listen, don't start talking to me about like war and
you're
19.
gonna have flashbacks, Robert.
No, because I'm just gonna start going 19. No, 19.
I don't know what that is. I don't know what All right, we've been
How
going.
do you not know 19? The song.
I don't know what that is.
It's
bro.
based on the Vietnam War. You might have heard of it.
I know. I've heard of the Vietnam War, right?
Fucking things
the
about
Cool War, as I call it. Right?
Stop making references or jokes that Ben doesn't understand.
Like I would have joined the army if we were still going to Vietnam and like places I want to visit, right? Like I don't need to go to Afghanistan. All right, I'm not trying to go to Iraq. But you have a war in Vietnam, like I might show up. You know what I mean? Like the weather's nice. We know we've got fucking plants and trees. I'm into that. And then there's like hookers and heroin, like a little hoo-hoo. That's a good life, dude. Hookers and heroin. Once in a while you kill someone, and that's like wild too. Like, whoa, that's got to be a high, I'm sure.
And yeah, that you've just boiled down the entirety of the Vietnam War, really.
Yeah, dude.
It's a wonder that they pulled out.
I think they had to because condoms were in short supply.
Exactly.
They pulled out before they got Vietnam pregnant. Is what they did.
Yeah.
So, do you mind if I wait? Am I sharing my screen here?
Yeah, you go ahead, man.
Here. No, but like, are you seeing my screen shared right now?
No, not yet, but we will. There you go.
All right. So, do you want me to just spoil book 2 for you real quick?
Yeah, do it.
Yeah. So, she crash lands in it. She's still in the Peace Corps. She gets shot down, I think, by Indians, and then like she crash lands in the nuclear zone. Because she was like flying above it or something.
That was in book 1. That was in Give Me Liberty, right? She was shot down by the Apache Nation.
Did she get shot down twice? Have you seen this, The Valley of Death, with the homeboy mutants?
No.
Okay. So she's in the nuclear zone. She gets shot down, I guess, a second time. So that's like making reference to the other time. Maybe there's a full circle hero's journey in that or something. I'll take it apart one day. So here she is, crash lands in the nuclear zone where Max Headroom lives. And she meets the mutants. And this is supposed to be like an uninhabitable area with like radiation where you'll like become a mutant. And like it is. And there's mutants, right? And so like the mutants don't kill her because she breaks the guy's nose and kicks him in the balls. So best way to make an impression. So
how to win friends and influence people.
Exactly, plot armor. The mutants don't kill her, and then like the fucking radiation is too much, and she passes out, and she wakes up in like wish fulfillment land with her best friend Raggy Ann and her boyfriend, and he's like dressed like a fucking like movies Apache or whatever, and she's in paradise, and everything's groovy.
That is a beautiful. Wow, look at that.
Yeah.
Mind you, those are photos of trees, aren't they?
You reckon?
No, totally, they are. They're photos.
Yo, good eye, Robert.
You think that's been photoshopped? Like?
Look at that shit. Look at that shit.
Yeah.
Look at that shit. Those are all real trees.
Me off that. I don't like that.
Those are all real trees. Well, you should have said something at breakfast.
Give me that freaking sausage. You. Give me that damn sausage, you.
You motherfucking tree photographic.
The thing is, okay, look, pull out.
Turn the table over.
Yeah, pull out. He says. That's what she said.
Okay. No, goodbye. Pulling out.
So I mean, like the way. I mean, it's a beautiful. I love the way they've done it because those figures they pop, they stand out.
Yeah,
but you can totally see that is all like real photoed.
I don't mind. I think it has a
to be honest,
a cool effect.
It's okay, but I would say, look.
What does it remind me?
They should have color corrected them because you got trees of different color tones, and it's like, it doesn't look right.
Oh, you're totally right, dude. Look at this.
Right?
Look at this dark tree, and then look at this in the light
like,
tree.
what's going on there?
What's going on there?
What?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I do not endorse.
Endor was good. It was good. It had lots of trees.
But look at this page, though.
Same color, probably.
But I tell you, I mean, the layout is beautiful.
Yeah, the layout's
at a distance. But like the clouds as well, you could tell that.
That's it because I was like, oh wow, that's someone's drawn that, and then I've just realised they haven't. So.
and the sky's a photo as well.
Yeah. Fuck off.
But okay, look. Here's the thing, right? And I gotta say, I saw this this YouTube program from this guy who spent 13 years working on one book about his time in Japan.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful book, but everything is individually drawn.
Oh, man.
And you can look it up on, I can't remember his name, but it was something like what I learned from spending, I think, 10 or 13 years. I can't quite remember. Everything I learned from spending 10 or 13 years on one graphic novel.
Isn't the fact that he spent that amount of time though consistent with what he learned in Japan? Isn't that the ikigai thing where you're like,
maybe, but the message he wanted to say was the message he wanted to say was he could have done it so much quicker.
Right, yeah,
I mean, and it still would have looked as good if he'd have just like kind of copied it.
Ikigai is basically the skill that you devote your time to and love to, and it's like the Japanese culture. The reason why you find that individuals are so good at certain skills, is because they just have an amazing work ethic sort of woven into the culture, and it's been there for a long time. However, I'm not suggesting that Dave Gibbons needed to spend his entire life drawing this comic book. Just don't use photographs. You can't. Or if you are going to use photographs, make sure that you're known as the guy that. Because I don't have an issue with artists using photographs per se, but like if you're an illustrator and your stuff's you're known for drawing, don't do it.
Then don't do it.
Okay. I don't like it. And I know everybody in the world has their own opinion, but mine is the correct one. And that's what everyone's missing, you see. No, it's just subjective in it, but I was marveling at that initially because I was like, oh wow, that's an illustration, and then.
No, I feel you.
Sorry, I spoiled that for you, didn't I?
No.
Oh, go back. What was that?
This?
No,
Yeah.
actual.
Oh, there it is again. I knew it is again.
So here's a photograph
trees
with
Look at those
cartoons
trees.
superimposed in front of it, and it looks fucking weird. Look
Yeah,
at
now
this
that I can see it, I really hate it.
Look at this shit right here. Like,
I mean, the thing is that there's stuff you could do to kind of like bring to posterize it, and it looks less like a photo.
Yeah. Not to knock Dave Gibbons too much. He's still a fucking legend, and he's better than me. And
for sure, absolutely.
But also this, I just hate the look of it. It does something. I don't know why.
no, it doesn't work. And like, I remember there were like TV shows that would do
that's
this
what I'm
sometimes,
thinking. Animation, yeah.
right?
Yeah, it's almost Hanna-Barbera looking, isn't it?
And it really takes me out of it because like here I've been taking the story really seriously the whole time, and then it's
I
like
fucked it up for everybody.
like what am I watching, Nickelodeon or something? But it's like no, but it's just like one thing wrong with a really great book.
Yeah,
to be
okay.
honest.
Yeah, it's not all damning.
So listen, I really sidetracked you there with that observation, but carry on. What were you telling us about this book?
Oh no, that's totally fine. No, all of that stuff was interesting.
Summarize.
Yeah,
Do you
Martha
think-
Washington wakes up in wish fulfillment land where like she's taught kendo and kung fu and like history
I know
and everything she needs to know.
Do you
And
think
like
you
she
think
gets
if
to
this
just
went
be
back
boyfriend
to
and girlfriend with Walsterstein and everything's groovy.
Do you think if this book came out today, that there'd be elements of, I love Comicsgate, but there'd be elements of Comicsgate giving it shit for being woke? Because it does contain a little bit of social justice, doesn't it?
But like this is, you know what?
Well, Frank Miller's always been like on the left. Like that's not new or unique to this book.
Sure.
This is actually a point I was thinking about earlier today, that we've got, we got Halo Jones, we got Martha Washington, and both of them are kind of like, you could see elements that people would also say that they're woke because, that it's a strong female lead. This female doesn't take shit from nobody. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, right? Like this is like 30 years ago. Halo Jones is 30 something years ago. This is what 20 something years ago. And I'm thinking,
for me though, Rob, is that it's not that a strong female black character exists. It's that it's the current denial that they ever existed. So therefore, we need to rub more of them in your faces that are way worse written than the ones that actually did exist, like this one. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the dichotomy that annoys me. Like when we talk about movies and female leads and roles, he's somewhere. I think he might be a BBI chair. You there, Ben? I always bring up Aliens, and it's like people have just kind of wiped the existence of Ripley as a strong female character from the fucking collective minds, or they're just not seeing it,
Yeah.
But yeah, and really annoying. But yeah, I like to think the fact that we have covered both of these books and enjoyed them so much. Probably
for sure.
Say that we judge these things pretty fair.
Mm-hmm. You all right there, Ben?
What have I told you about talking to Ben? You scared him again?
Don't just shout out at him. Kind of like lead into it gently.
Yeah, remember to send him an email first, because he gets.
All right. Have you got? Can you share then? Because here's the thing, I totally did it. I went and did a bit of a comparison thing. If you want, I don't know.
I'll share whatever you put up. I'll share.
All right, nice. Damn, I got some really kinky stuff as well.
Oh, fantastic!
There
we go. Add stream. There we go.
Righty. So obviously, I mean, I wasted so much time putting this together. I like this. I mean, this is just a knob, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much?
And a pair of tits. It looks like a knob facing down, but like if you look at it, it looks like a legless, big-titted transformer.
Alrighty. So, yeah. I mean, like, this is just so strange. I mean,
wow.
Like the whole thing about the big boy, or fat boy as it's called here, and you've seen the big boy in the Austin Powers movies. So we as Brits, we kind of have an idea what's going on there. But this like gay Nazi, this gay Nazi thing that's going on, that's like crazy.
Very well. I suppose it's the ultimate insult, isn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
For a Nazi.
This internet connection is like substantially better over here, right?
Yeah, that is better. Yeah,
it is now.
Try not to fall out. Then I'll be back in a moment.
Oh, you're off.
Show Ben the gay Nazis while I'm gone.
Oh, the gay Nazis. Yeah, I love. Well, I'm not going to say I love gay Nazis.
I know about the gay Nazis. I mean, but that's a really interesting. That's really interesting. The gay Nazis.
I mean the whole factions that the United States have split into. It's really like. I mean, how many gay Nazis can you find in one country, let alone enough to annex part of a country?
I mean, I think there's like really two ways to read this. One is like simply like that it's a diss, because like at the time it would have been, at the time that was what was common. Nowadays you couldn't get away with that, but he's dissing Nazis by saying that they're like closet gays. But then like,
but they dress so nice.
And I think there's an even more interesting way to read it, which is like he's combining these weird opposites together. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah.
And it kind of is reminiscent of the way of like the horseshoe effect. Like you get far enough in one direction, you start resembling the opposite. Because like,
tell me more. I've never heard this.
Oh, you've never heard this?
No, the horseshoe effect. No, that's a new one on me.
All right, we'll take out your notebook. The horseshoe effect is when you have opposite ideologies, presumably moving in opposite directions, left and right, becoming separate. But in reality, they don't keep moving away. Eventually, they start like this.
Right, that's where the horseshoe comes into it. Oh wow,
I see.
okay.
So once you get to the extremes, they
Uh
actually start to resemble each other more than the center.
I hear what you're saying there. Yeah. Wow, I've never heard that before.
Hence gay Nazis, right? Hence the Aryan homosexual brotherhood.
Well, I mean, yeah, I could say something on that, but I don't want to get cancelled.
Don't get canceled.
I mean, okay, no. So it's like this is the whole thing. It's like abused children grow up to become abusers.
Yeah.
Or not all, of course, but you know, there are a substantial number of cases where abused children grow up to become abusers, and this doesn't just stop on the individual level. It can carry on a national level, and that's all I'll say to that. Because
the Nazis were abused, and that's why.
No, God, no. The Nazis were just led astray. But
because like the whole country of Germany was like left in dire straits after the Versailles Treaty, and the result of that was like a visceral desire to be dominant over other nations,
but, like,
which could happen the same way. So, all right, I think we said all there is to say.
Right, okay.
We covered that topic too.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right.
What do you want to show me? Because I have something to show you.
Oh, all right, then hang on a sec. My original plan, and I didn't know like who had prepared what, was to show some of these scenes, but you know what? I'm just going to whiz through these because we've already touched. My favorite
scene ever is in book 1. My favorite.
Which one? Do you want to show that now, or do you want to show that later?
I'll show that when Max gets back.
Okay. Because right, here's the thing that I see quite a few parallels, if you like, or similarities between Halo Jones and Martha Washington. Like, there's the hoop, of course. I mean, check it out. One day I'm getting out of here. What? Way out of the green. Out. I'll get out. I mean, it's this like this. Growing up in an oppressed society, knowing that there's more out there for both, and they both want to get out. That was the tagline. I mean, Halo Jones, 1983. When did Martha Washington start? In the 1990s?
1776.
Okay, when was the illustrated version?
Shit, what year was this?
I think in the 90s.
Let's go to page 1 right quick. Give me liberty. It doesn't say, dude.
Alrighty. Well, we could Wikipedia it later.
Yeah, we will do.
Okay, so another similarity is the whole this narration, this narrative. What is that? And a narrative device that you're using television as your way of explaining stuff, which happens in both. Even Halo Jones, which is set like in the 25th century. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. And this, which is supposedly set in the 2015s or 2010s, right? And the whole idea of using television as your supporting narrative, I think, is really interesting. And then what do they do? What do they both do? They find a way out. And I think a lot of Americans and Brits
real quick,
and other say what?
Yeah, real quick. Not only did they grow up in these like structures that you said, but these are also like weird sci-fi technologies, right? The hoop,
sure.
and then like the green, which is like, do you all know what the green is? Max, do you know what the green is?
The green, no.
The green, where Homegirl grew up. Okay, so in the United States, we have projects, right? We have
Yeah.
housing projects, which is why like really expensive cities to live in, like New York and Chicago, have massive populations of low income black. And why is that? It's because a lot of them live in these projects, which are like
Yeah.
these,
Kind of ghetto towns.
yeah, they're ghettos. They're just like housing, like
Yeah.
housing that's made en masse to just have tons and tons of people living here, and like they suck, you know, like you don't want to live there.
Mm.
And Martha Washington grew up in these fucking futuristic projects that Frank Miller came up with. And he was just like, well, what would it be like if like there was no streets? And there's just like you just have to walk fucking everywhere,
Mm.
right? And like, I don't remember, Rob, is there subways or something? But there's like no streets, and there's no
What
cars.
on which one by on Martha Washington or Halo Jones?
In Martha Washington.
Well, it's one block, isn't it? It's like it's pretty similar to a city block in Mega City 1.
Like a shithole.
Well, yeah, and you know, there is. Oh God,
But like there's no trees, right? There's no trees.
well,
and
exactly. There's no nature.
Yeah.
like, there's
It's
no
it's all
nature.
artificial.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
for
a
sure.
space station or something. It's creepy.
Yeah, yep. So both Jones and Washington find their way out
Yeah.
in the army.
Yeah.
Right?
That's
I mean,
right.
okay, Jones found her way out as a waitress on the Clarapandi, a ship, a luxury liner, right? But she only got so far, and then she succumbed to alcoholism because she saw no way to get any further, and they both joined the army. Okay, and this is, for me, this is interesting because I've met my time in Asia, especially South Korea. I met so many Americans. And how did I meet these Americans? Because they were there with the army.
Hell
Right.
Yeah, I moved to Germany, and the first place I lived was Heidelberg, a year and a half. It's like a big military camp. So I would hang out. One of my exes, a female sergeant in the U.S. Army. Right?
He has to specify that.
Yeah. Because one of my exes was a sergeant.
Implying that there are other exes that are male.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to leave anything too much to the imagination,
Grammatically.
But yeah, like a lot of these people, they just see the army as their way out.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a shame that Nick's not here, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm totally sure he would have something to say about that, and I'm sure he'll be able to back me up on that next week. Yeah, or when we see him next. So yeah, they join the army. They see action. Yeah. Oh, and one thing I didn't put in here, like Washington's skill set includes she's a programmer. She learned programming as a kid, and there's a scene where she manages to hack a bank and get away with shitloads of money.
ATM, and she gets
Right. And
$1,000.
one of Jones's skill sets is linguistics, that she can actually speak dolphin or sete.
Oh yeah.
Cetacean. So and that makes her a valued member on board the Clarapandi because the dolphins are actually like navigators.
Kind of like Dune, right? With like the floaty dudes.
Yeah.
I have no idea. It's years since I've seen Dune. All right, so
seen the new one, Rob?
No, not yet.
Oh, you should give it a crack, mate. It's very good.
Is it cool?
Yeah, it's
cool,
very
cool. What streaming services is it on?
Pirate Bay.
Okay, hang on a sec. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So another thing that you find in both stories that they have this dream sequence.
Yeah.
And this dream sequence is like a warning of an impending, there's going to be some impending conflict. Something
Well,
is
it's
coming
like-
up. You're not going to like it.
It's like Avatar animals acting out the real conflicts of human beings.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because like
Although this one, I mean, all right, in Halo Jones, the conflict is actually on the planet Tarantula.
right.
So, and that manifests itself as she's
Spider.
stuck in a web.
Yeah.
And you know what it's like in Nightmare. I've never had that nightmare, but the idea of being stuck in a spider's web, not being able to get out.
Yeah,
Here-
the Cure wrote a song about that. That's how
Oh, the
it's
Sandman's coming, right?
It's my
It's
favorite
called Lullaby.
ever.
Lullaby, yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. On candy striped legs.
That's it.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Wow. Oh God. Oh.
Spider-Man comes.
Jim
Slowly,
would have like
slowly
problems
through
with
the
that.
something-
Candy
yeah.
striped legs. Ooh, he'd have nightmares. Right.
You know the nightmares. We've all had them. Candy striped legs. Thank you, Robert Smith. So, and then there's the other dream, which is like the unseen conflict between Homeboy and Martha, right?
Yeah.
Like
Absolutely.
rich boy, tennis player, captain, right?
Yeah.
Who like is her superior officer and her arch nemesis. He's
I mean,
obviously
it's nice
represented by
symbolism
balls.
because, of course, he's all American hero, and who's
Right.
he in this picture? He's the eagle,
Exactly. Yeah, he's the eagle.
right?
And then
And then-
she's
and-
the panther. Yeah.
And she's the panther. I mean, panther. Okay, is it because she is black? Is it because the panther is black?
You
Is
know, I
that-
honestly just feel like it's the closest animal to resemble her, like physically. But I
I
don't know.
mean, he makes some mention of cat in the story. I can't quite
Was he
remember
like call
what
her
it
a
is.
cat or something?
Something like that. Yeah. Okay, and then now this is what I like about the ending of both stories. I mean,
Hell
I
yeah.
say
Autoerotic asphyxiation.
yeah, they both die due to lack of oxygen.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Okay, so she finds out that in Halo Jones, she finds out that Luis Cannibal, basically she was instrumental in genocide.
Right.
Because
Because they
she-
use those rats.
Exactly. She helped save the Rat King. And it was Luis Cannibal who had implemented the Rat King in spreading a plague on a planet.
Right.
So she pushes his spigot.
To empty the oxygen, yeah.
Yeah. So that, which is cool because there's a lot of setup in this story. This
hell yeah.
spigot was mentioned in book 2, I believe. Or right at the beginning of book 1. So you already have the idea of, you've got Chekhov's gun right at an early stage, right? When it comes to Washington, the crazy thing is she still calls him sir. Yes, sir. Even though he's an absolute bastard, he's tried to kill her numerous times. And she helps him out by allowing him to go take the easy way out rather than face up to the consequences of his actions. No?
Well,
So they both are instrumental in the deaths of these guys.
and they
Right.
both die by being choked, dude. There's so many parallels. It's crazy.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially particularly with Alan Moore, to be honest, this is the hallmark of a master storyteller, because the pushing of the button, dude, and the rat, all these setups along the way. So, like,
There's no way you could have known that when you're reading it for the first time.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So he knows what he's showing you to build this
Yeah.
grand opera
Yeah.
with a climax that brings all the scraps.
Exactly. You're reading and you're like,
Yeah.
oh.
No, yeah, exactly. Homeboy listens to classical music. Like that's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. You know.
Yeah. And then, yeah. Okay. So my last point to this was exactly what I said earlier, that, like Washington is a strong female leader, who even before she became Mrs. George Washington, and I can't, Dan Dawn, or I can't remember the name she had before. She was like a strong leader before she became America's first lady. No? Whereas the flip side to that would be that Halo Jones, she became instrumental in the short run of her story, and unfortunately we will never know. And of course I'm still going to harp on about that till the end of time, but she's already instrumental in so much, but we just don't know. We just don't know what she would have gone on to.
Right, but we have an idea because we've seen like the Catholic magnitude, right, with the rats.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
But like, and also look at that thigh gap. Like Halo is really fit, by the way.
Dude, I gotta say, Ian Gibson has got a new book coming out called Lifeboat.
Is it full of photography?
I don't think it is.
I'm joking.
Yeah, I really don't think it is. I mean, and it's got a lot of babe stuff on it. Hey, let me go find something for you. All right.
Okay.
I'm here, but I'll be back in a second.
No worries, bro.
All right.
All right. So in the meantime, we'll go through this. This is pretty wild, Max. Like, just to give you an idea of like the kind of place that the green is, right?
Yeah.
It's like this whole, here's the outside. It's like this whole area that you can't come in or out of. So it's like, what the fuck, dude? And there's no windows. You know what I mean? Like you're inside.
I love
you
that
live
art.
inside. And like,
why is it called the green?
How they sleep.
Why is it called the green?
It's like everything's painted green, like all the walls, and because like the walls and the floors and everything is like the same, and it's like green.
So it just looks like a hospital or something. Horrible.
Yeah, exactly. And so here she is running through, and like these like panels here at the end, she's got her Raggedy Ann doll, and then like the next panel is her sneakers, and then like the next panel in true Alan Moore 1, 2, 3 fashion, right? Even though this is Frank Miller.
Yeah.
And then the last one is the close-up of her horrified, I'm gonna get raped face, right? As she's being chased by this dude that kidnaps her. But the crazy thing is she got lucky. Like she shot the moon. Like they picked her up. She dresses as a boy so that she never gets molested or interfered with, right? Because that's the kind of place this is. It's like if everyone lived in prison, including children, and then so there's like this massive risk of sexual assault. So she dresses as a boy, but then they kidnapped her because like the dude wanted a boy. And like they didn't rape him because they figured out that she's a girl, and like the dude wasn't even interested in the girl. Like, are you kidding me? This is so crazy. And then there's this guy, the Iceman, right? But he doesn't look like Chuck Liddell. He looks like, I don't know, Evander Holyfield or something. He's just this jacked dude on steroids. And he has this hook, and he like kills people with the hook, right? And then like there's this whole thing with her teacher. Like the only person that's like cool was like her teacher who comes from the outside, and the Iceman kills her teacher. And then what does she do? And this is crazy because it's like. Because it's completely plausible. Why not? Like, he's got a knife in his arm, so he's preoccupied. You know what I mean? And, like, a little girl comes in, picks up the hook that's on the floor, and digs it into him.
Oh,
But it's
so
not that easy, right? He's still alive. So it's like, yeah, you get to kill the guy who's a better fighter than you. Somehow you kill him, but not without your trauma, dude. He's gonna like chase you down the lockers
right.
and like pull the locker open, and you're gonna shit your pants and think you're gonna die, and then he's gonna die, and then you'll make it. So like that whole sequence, which has very little dialogue, to be
Yeah,
fair.
I love that. I love it.
Yeah, you just kind of race through it.
Go down.
Go back down one more time.
The shadow with the hook.
Check that out. I mean, it's exactly the same. Oh wow, yeah, for sure.
That's cool.
Really smart storyboard in that. Really smart.
And now go back to the next page, and look at the way she's in the locker.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. And no, it's not funny. And then go down.
It's funny as shit, dude.
It is
she's
not
in the locker.
funny.
Are you kidding me? She's in the locker. She closes the door. Next panel, the hook comes through the door.
It's a Shining all over again, isn't it?
Yeah, Halloween.
Right.
Yeah. But like, go to the bottom of that page, and then look at the position that she's in, and now go to the next page, and that's where she's in the mental hospital.
Oh yeah, same position.
Oh, same.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah. And by the way, like, shout out to this use of like uniform colors. Like that looks really good. The way that it's done here, red, purple, blue.
The complementary.
Exactly. Like they held each other up because like there's about the same amount of each. So it just fucking looks good, doesn't it?
Right, lads, I'm gonna have to shoot.
Yeah, dude.
No, oh yeah, God.
I was just gonna say
before you go.
Yeah.
Skip over to what I'm sharing now.
Where are you?
Real quick.
You had it. Yeah. Those are the new pages from Ian Gibson's Lifeboat. 2 pages from Lifeboat by Ian Gibson. The story revolves around the idea: what if Romeo and Juliet had a child with a space version of the American War of Independence?
Yo,
where asteroid mining colonists are trying to break free.
This headgear that they're wearing. I like these hats.
We're all about the headgear in Roken.
Look at what's doing here. Yeah.
Okay, let's outdo the headgear.
That's what I'm saying, dude. I reckon and then we can do like side by side memes where we show his drawing and yours and be like,
we do have to do in one of the characters the biggest hat in comic book history.
Of course,
has to happen. All our wizards.
I gotta go too. I was just gonna say, this shit like tickling. That's great. We like to be tickled. So if you just pop in to the show and say what's up, we're all about it. We do that to other shows that we watch.
But we like it if you stick around.
Yeah, we like that too. You'll watch it later. We know. That's what I do. Thanks for the tickles, Aid.
2 weeks, Rogue Trooper, right?
2 weeks, Rogue Trooper.
Put a thumbnail out tonight.
Okay, I'll put the thumbnail out tonight.
Yeah.
29, 28, 27, 26.
As we've just seen, drugs make your problems go away. So make it the best day possible. Remember, it's drugs that counts. Take one and take a chance.
Saturday morning cartoons, mostly conjecture based on little knowledge.